good-paying jobs for Staples employees is the result of the decline of secure, good-paying jobs for USPS employees.
Well, la-dee-da. I intend no respect to your father or you, young man. It must be nice to have a government job for life in the post office. Who wouldn't want that? But we are living in times of austerity. If business is to prosper in these hard times, those days of worker prosperity and job security are over. You employees here, oh, excuse me, I mean you associates, can be grateful to Staples that you even have jobs at all, considering the number of people who would rather collect welfare than put in a hard day's work.
Okay, next question. Here's a question from one of our newer associates. She writes, Ms. Goodman, for my work at Staples, I currently receive $8.90 an hour. In Seattle, the minimum wage has just been raised to $15 per hour, which means that Staples employees in that city will soon be receiving almost twice as much as I receive. Will Staples increase my wage too? And will Staples cover this increase by reducing the much higher salaries of persons such as yourself? Will Staples settle for less profit to be divided among the stockholders? Or will Staples simply close its doors in Seattle?
Hey, we're not getting into that subject today. I did not come here today to have a conversation about class welfare. I don't think most of you did either. So, if you will excuse me, I have a plane to catch.
Hey, ho, ho, Postal Staples has got to go. Hey, ho, ho, Postal Staples has got to go.
Hey,
all right.
Ho, ho, Postal Staples has got to go.
That's good. That skit was actually based on an actual meeting that happened.
Also, great speaking, good diction. We could understand you. Not always so at these liberal acting studios.
Well done, Jack.
Everybody should consider this, as I do. Everybody should consider this a workers' political action committee where we should be, in the streets. Because America has become what?
A fascist state.
No, it's not a fascist state yet, but it has become a storefront for a corporate mob. And we ought to keep in mind these historic demands. All power to the creative input of the United States postal workers, and long live the United States Postal Service.
Right.
And remember, one last thing is the iconic Lieutenant Detective Columbo used to say, one last thing. We, the American people, ultimately have the right of eminent domain.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, the last act of this break action is we're going to walk across the parking lot quietly, without chanting. Our friend Bob Marshall is inside. He's going to open the door for us. And once we get inside, Donna, over there in my car, has petitions for the person in charge. 500 signatures for the person in charge, expressing our commitment to boycott Staples unless they change their ways. Are we ready?
Ready.
Bring your signs. Bring your signs. Let's go. Bring your signs.
Wake up and smell the coffee. That's why all the people just kind of anesthetize. Shot of that old, whatever, old barley wine. Yeah, run myself out. Yeah, coming out. Sometimes that's all you can do. It was good to be at the fair trade. I would have liked to have seen more people. Yeah. Now you're a one man.
Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Postal Staples has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Postal Staples has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Postal Staples has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Postal Staples has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Postal Staples has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Why don't you? Postal Staples has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Postal Staples has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Postal Staples has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Okay. Postal Staples has got to go. So Donna informs us that the manager refuses to take our petition. 500 signatures. We're just asking him to take the petition and get it to the CEO of Staples to let them know that we're going to take our business elsewhere until they stop stealing post offices. And maybe he'll change his mind if he knows that we'll stay here until he takes the petition. You want to try again?
Products here.
Well, I think Lori can talk about it.
There's a lot of Scotch tape, Jamie. We could Scotch tape it to his forehead. Maybe.
The U.S. mail is not for sale. The U.S. mail is not for sale. The U.S. mail is not for sale. U.S. mail is not for sale. Privatization's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. 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 Privatization's got to go.
Union busting
is disgusting.
We've got rhythm, yeah!
How are we doing over there, Donnie? You convinced him yet?
Corporate policy to not accept petitions.
Oh,
Now,
oh my God! Is that in the Constitution?
What do we want? Take our petition. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Take our petition. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Take our petition. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Take our petition. When do we want it? Now. Must be hot.
Staples boycott.
Must be hot.
Staples boycott.
Until they rot.
Staples boycott.
What we got?
Staples boycott.
What is hot?
Staples boycott.
Can't be bought.
Staples boycott.
Must be hot.
Staples boycott.
Must be fought.
Staples boycott.
Must be fought.
Staples boycott. No justice, no peace. Stop Staples. No peace. No justice, no peace. Stop Staples. No peace. No justice, no peace. Stop Staples. No peace.
What's the story, Donna, Lori, Jack? What's the story?
Well, he did say that. Well, he would not take the petitions. He was not allowed to. He wasn't going to say anything. Blah blah blah. We were pushing on him that he's taking a stand by so-called not taking a stand. That he's on the unjust side. He said he wants to go back to his family, and we said, well, what about other people's families who are being pushed down? He didn't seem to want to say anything about them, but he did say at the end, I don't know if it's true, that he will say that we were in here and that we had 500 signatures, and yeah, he said he would tell them that. That was a little something.
Let this lady get through here.
All right. Well, I guess we'll have to leave them with, we'll be back. 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 We'll be back.
I'm not coming back. I ain't stopping here.
We'll be back.
But we can
We'll be back. We'll be back. The next big rally is on the birthday of the post office. July 26th is the 239th birthday of the post office, founded in 1775. We're going to have an action at noon on Saturday, July 26th in front of the main post office, where again we'll be protesting privatization of the People's Postal Service. Thank you so much for coming out, and please bring your signs to the Silver Bullet over in the corner of the parking lot.
As you probably know, the Postal Service is going through a big change because Congress is trying to shut them down so they can be privatized. And so putting mini post offices in the Staples stores is the same kind of thing. It's just a way to privatize the post office. Then the people who will be handling our mail aren't trained, they don't do an oath, they're minimum wage. They're people who, you know, they change a lot. Some people quit and go here and go there. It's not a safe way to handle our mail. But it's what the goal is to destroy the postal the postal union's union, so everything can be prioritized and everything can be low income.
And privatizing it, huh?
Privatize. I think I said prioritize.
Wow. So they're selling out services to let Staples handle mail services?
Yeah, they've got a big contract, and they haven't done it in Oregon yet, but they're working on it. They've done it in California, several other states, and people are showing up like this and demonstrating against it.
Like ahead of time?
Yeah.
So what would happen if they did privatize it? But how many jobs would be lost and how many plants would be shut down, you think, if they did?
Well, I know that in some of the cities they're already doing that, is that the post office is making their hours shorter hours, and they're putting a sign saying, gee, you know, if you wanted to use a post service, we're closed right now, but you can go to Staples. They're really pushing going to Staples.
Yeah, so there's some kind of relationship between the two that we can see already.
They have a contract.
Wow, so a lot of workers are going to lose their jobs, probably a lot of shutdowns, and privatization is going to go to Staples, a big corporation.
That's right.
Okay.
And that's been going on all over already, but the Staples is just another way to do that.
Is there any other contracts? I heard they have some contractors with trucking companies that...
Oh my God, yeah, they contracted with a company that's in bankruptcy that has been accused of fraud. And they have laid off drivers of the mail out there at the airport because they're giving it to this bogus company.
Wow.
And we've been out there too to try to stop them.
Yeah.
And we've written letters, we've tried to make appointments, we're doing everything we can to keep our post office because we love it.
They're trying it out in 82 stores nationwide. Some of them are in San Francisco. And so in San Francisco, they're cutting back on the post office hours with signs in the stores. After hours here, go down to the nearby Staples store to do your postal business. So that's a clear conspiracy by the management of the Postal Service to privatize and degrade the business of the Postal Service itself. Now, and we know that they have a high turnover and they have low wages and, as far as I know, no benefits. I don't know what their benefits are, but they're not good. They don't have any job security. They don't have any representation. So that's the path for America that the corporations want, and they're running the show in the administration and Congress. And obviously, you don't get elected president unless you do what they want. Howard Dean's candidacy proved that. He was sounding like he was working for us. The news media assassinated his candidacy. So, you know, this is the program to privatize everything, and they'll be coming after government jobs next. They'll probably privatize regulation. Just like, you know, you got corporations now that will certify that other corporations are producing organic products. Well, how much do how much do you trust that? It's just like how much you trust that? Like the rating agencies, Moody's and those guys, for all these derivatives. The derivatives people paid the rating agencies to rate them, and so they gave them good ratings because they were the customers, and then people trust the ratings and got taken to the cleaners. So we've learned what happens when you privatize public services that we have to rely on. We have to build a trust.
Is there any chance you think this can eventually in the future become completely privatized?
I don't think there's any limit to what they want to privatize, and if they're running it, no, it's going to become a... No, I think we could easily have a privatized state, the whole darn thing. Yeah, it's the vision. Yeah.
Well, I heard that the Census Bureau is even using outside agencies to do data warehouses and stuff to store. You know, they're letting them run the statistical information about us.
It means they get the statistical information.
Yeah.
They get to use it.
I see.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of indifference.
And they get paid for doing it.
Yeah. So they're more and more encroaching on.
Yeah. So that's a great example.
Yeah. Well, I hope we keep it public instead of private, because we the people are.
Well, you know, it depends upon enough demand from us. And for instance, going to our members of Congress with real clear vision. You know, this is the way we should have things. Are you on board or aren't you? And you know, we unfortunately we don't choose our candidates. We don't get together, round up somebody, you know, get together, choose one of us or a bunch of us, and run us for Congress and get us elected. It's a free enterprise, competitive enterprise system, and the competitors do it. And I like in Congressional District 1, the Democratic primary to replace David Wu, you know, Brad Witt, Brad Avakian were both dead set against free trade agreements. Suzanne Bonamici took her time coming in, lining up the support, and then she said, well, we may need them for people in our district, and she won going away. They had all the news media and everybody lined up behind her, and that's the way she's got. So we've got somebody who's not dedicated. We could have had a dedicated pro-labor representative in that district, but you know, they just outmaneuvered and overpowered us in the media, in this public image, so that the public, anyhow, for some reason, voted for her, because I guess they got a lot more propaganda to do so.
Yeah. Well, that's just to say, well, there's good examples of getting in good candidates, like in Seattle. They voted in a city council member who's been responsible for kind of getting the rest of the city council in Seattle to accept the $15 an hour minimum wage for the city. And that's a good example of getting a candidate in that's going to make some change, you know.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
So would you recommend to people that want to change this, just pretty much write to your senator, your congressman?
I think, I'd say get together. Get a bunch of friends together and go in and say, this is what we want in our country. Now, and can we count on you to commit to advocate for this? Come out and advocate strongly for it, and stop working for the corporations.
Joe and Bobby, boldly going where the corporate media won't.